Boy, what's up, everybody? It's your boy. Let us pray. I hope you're having a blessed and a prosperous day. Welcome to Falcon Therapy, where Falcon fans can come together and talk about Falcony-like things, but where everybody's welcome to get these good vibes, man. We are here on a Wednesday morning. We're gonna go ahead and pray, and then we're gonna get out of here and try to get a little bit of exercise. We're going out of town tomorrow, so we'll be gone for a few days. Be back on Tuesday, so we got to pack a little bit. So we probably, check in for maybe 15, 20 minutes. Let us pray first. Lord, thank you. Thank you for being an awesome God that you are. The God of all power, the God that wakes us up every morning, the God that keeps us, the God that shields us from danger, arrows and darts of the enemy, plots and plans that the devil has to take us out. God, you keep us protected, even sometime when we don't even deserve it. You're still there for us, and we say thank you. Thank you for blessing us to see another day. Thank you for our right minds. Thank you for our life, our health, and our strength. Thank you for watching over our loved ones. Thank you for how you keep on opening doors while you close other doors. And then sometimes when we can't see a way, you make a way. Ask that you would continue to crown our heads with wisdom and knowledge. Those things that we're going through in our lives, that we might be struggling with, God, we ask that you would minister to our hearts, our minds, our souls, and bless us to give them over to you. Help us to lay down all our burdens at your feet and not to pick them up again. So we thank you for all things. We thank you for your goodness and your kindness and your mercy. Bless each and every one of our viewers on today. If they might have a need, anything in their lives, ask that you would bless them now, whatever it might be, financial, physical, emotional, whatever it might be. Ask that you would meet their needs today. Let them know that you are real and that you love them, and that you are always there, no matter what. Thank you for hearing our prayer on today. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen and amen. All right, y'all. Falcon Therapy here. It's a Wednesday. Much love to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. I did want to say thank y'all for the support. We are over 700. I think we're over 700 subscribers. On the way to 800. So I appreciate that, man. Just got a new subscriber. Thank you, exclusive. Appreciate you. We're going to talk some sports on today, of course. We're going to start off with this case, man. I kind of mentioned it a little bit yesterday. Hey, what's up? Your fave Lesky. What's happening? Official. I'm gonna just call you official. What's happening, official? How y'all doing? We're gonna talk about this Terrion Arnold case, because this has been a case that I've been hearing about, but it's on public record now because he's officially, been booked. He was arrested. Well, he turned himself in. And the evidence is stacking up against this young brother. So you could see how One bad decision can affect your life, man. So let's take a look at it. I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna watch it together. This is the case. All right.
Involved in the kidnapping and robbery case with Terrion Arnold, gave sworn statements identifying the NFL player as the mastermind of the conspiracy. All right, huge update on Terrion Arnold's kidnapping case. I've been checking the system for his name, and finally his case popped up today. And the first document I could read was motion for pretrial detention here. The state of Florida wants to keep him in jail, obviously. No bond. They don't want to let him out before trial. Grounds for pretrial detention, the state would show that pursuant to Florida statute, there's a substantial probability that the defendant committed the offense, and based on defense past and present patterns of behavior, no conditions will protect the community or risk of, witnesses or whatever. They're trying to protect people. That's what they always say. He poses a threat and harm to the community. Dangerous crime is defined in Florida statute. 3 counts of kidnapping, 3 counts of robbery with a firearm. Furthermore, there's a substantial probability that the defendant committed those crimes. The factual circumstances of the crime indicate a disregard for the safety of the community. Now we get more details. And guess what? There's someone snitching, which is never good because that means they're going to testify. She's going to want to testify at trial if this goes to trial to try to get a better sentence. That's what happens each time someone flips.
All right. So let's pause it there for a second. You got Terrion Arnold, who's an NFL player, played for the Detroit Lions. And then you have the other players in this crime as well. You have Ariana De Laval, Jasmine Randazzo, Lindell Hudson, what did I say? Christian Williams, and Mr. Hilton. All right. These are all what you would call co-defendants, people that were involved in the crime with Terrion Arnold. Okay. The guy said that the women in the case have already decided to cooperate and have rolled over on everybody else so they can get the best deal. If you don't know how it works, usually the first one to cooperate with law enforcement gets the best deal, right? I don't know if they're looking at immunity, but you're looking at getting your charges reduced and the least amount of jail time. So that's one huge factor against Terrion Arnold is the fact that his co-defendants have already decided to cooperate with the police. All right, let's keep watching.
And fucks everyone else over. All right, between January 30th and February 1st, Terrion Arnold and his co-defendants, Hilton, Hughes, Christian Williams, Lindell Hudson, Ariana, and Jasmine, as well as their friend Jackson Ridgway, were periodically staying at Airbnb in the city of Largo, Florida, rented by Arnold. Also present during that period of the time were the 2 victims in this case, Jan Lopez and Daniel T., along with other associates and friends of Terrion Arnold and his co-defendants. So
imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
My prediction was right. They knew each other. They were present in this Airbnb. Maybe it was like a party environment at some point, and they were accused of stealing the property that's worth $250,000 in the Airbnb. Turns out they didn't actually do it, though. On February.
All right. So, details of the case. Terrion Arnold and friends, okay, were hanging out, partying, whatever, at this Airbnb. And then about $250,000, that's $250,000 for those, that need some help. $250,000 worth of merchandise, that's jewelry and other items, came up missing. They were stolen. Apparently there was, a lot of people hanging out, at a party. You had the 5 defendants here. You had Terrion Arnold, some of his associates, and then these other guys. They called one of them named Lopez. I can't remember the other guy's name. Okay. But it was suspected that Lopez, and Taneska were responsible for the theft of these items. That's what Arnold and his friends thought. Okay. But it turns out that they were innocent. They did not take the items. Let's keep watching.
The first unknown suspect stole multiple pieces of property belonging to Arnold, Hilton, Hughes, and Ridgway from within the El Largo Airbnb. Terry and Arnold suspected Lopez and Daniel were the responsible thefts, which they were not. Believing that Lopez and Daniel were responsible for the theft, Arnold and his co-defendants conspired to lure them to the apartment, to Ariana's apartment, threaten them to get the stolen property back. Arnold, Hilton, Hughes, and Ridgway later called the Largo Police Department and reported the theft of their property. Arnold's property loss was reported to be $245,000. So he is the...
Okay. Let's not skip over that part. So Terrion Arnold and associates, the items come up missing. They like, man, somebody look. Somebody hit a lick on us, right? We got to get our stuff back. They narrowed it down to these two gentlemen, Taneska and Lopez. They used the two girls, to lure them to an apartment. All right. In other words, hey, come through, whatever. You know what it is, whatever you want to call it. Booty call. I don't know what these kids call it now. Link. Let's link. Come to the crib. We're going to do what it do. But it was a trap. It was a trap. The girls, well, they used to call it back in the day, used to call it honey pot, you know, like you dangle the honey out there, but it's a trap, you know, it's a try to trap a wild animal, but it's basically the oldest trick in the book that's been happening for years and years. You use the woman to seduce the man, and then when the man shows up, the woman might be there, but she's just there to get you in the door, and then once you're in the door, you get robbed. All right? So let's keep watching.
The majority bulk of what was stolen, obviously. He's the NFL player. One of the people that allegedly had a gun is a bigger guy that played for the Florida Gators. I don't know if these other guys played for any other teams too, but Hughes' property loss was $4,700. Hilton's property loss was $1,300. On February 3rd, Arnold and Hilton coordinated and directed both Delval and Randazzo to electronically contact Daniel to lure him to the apartment of Delval and Randazzo to engage in sexual relations with Randazzo. Okay,
there it is. Terrion Arnold, he lost $245,000 worth of property. So he had a huge stake in this robbery. Okay. He lost almost $250,000 on his own. His friends lost 5,000, almost 5,000, and then one almost lost 1,500. Okay. So here was the plan. Arnold and Hilton. Arnold is the football player. Hilton, pictured right there on the left. They were texting. Okay, says electronically contacted Taneska to lure them to the apartment so that this guy could think he was going to have sex with Jasmine Randazzo. Okay, and this was Arnold and Hilton's plan. Okay, so Williams and Hudson, your two guys, you know, middle and right, showed up to the crib before the meeting started. And it says here, hid inside the apartment to wait on the guys to come who thought they were about to sleep with this girl. All right. So there was three people who showed up: Lopez, Taneska, and Solja Anderson. All right. About midnight, February 4th, 2026. All right. That's the plot. They think they're going to clap some cheeks. Instead, there's two guys waiting for them with guns inside the apartment because they think that they hit a lick on them for $250,000 worth of stolen jewelry. Okay? Let's keep going.
So once again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing these names right. So this is the oldest trick in the book, to lure someone where they think they're going to get some butt cheeks and it ends up being a robbery or something. You know what I'm saying? This happens all the time. Or they get murdered. Like this happens in gang shit all the time. It's happened in Florida. I've heard it's happened in Chicago. Like this happens everywhere. Defendant Williams and Hudson arrived at the apartment in possession of firearms and met up with Delval. Williams and Hudson then hid inside the apartment to await the victim's arrival, and it was in the closet.
Stop calling me. You sound like a psycho. I swear to God.
I'm calling you to let you know that we're going to pay off.
So it looks like
Pretty sure these two boys climbed in the closet. Lopez and Daniel T, along with their friend Solja, drove to the apartment around midnight. Upon arrival, Daniel and Anderson went upstairs to the apartment located on the 3rd floor and were greeted at the door by Delval. Once inside, Daniel asked Delval where Randazzo was. She said that she was not home. Daniel began looking through the apartment for her. I thought that was weird. Like, what do you mean? So this guy was invited there by a girl. He thought he was going to get some butt cheeks. A girl lets him in, but she says she's not home. But he continues to look around the apartment. Like, that's a weird situation there. Like, I'd be like, what? Okay, I'm leaving then. See ya. And just turn around. But he, like, looked for her. Very weird situation. Daniel entered a bedroom with Anderson following behind. Daniel opened the closet where Williams and Hudson were hiding. Williams was armed with a semi-automatic firearm, and Hudson was armed with the AR-15 style rifle. Hudson emerged from the closet, pointing the rifle at Daniel, grabbed him, and began striking him. Williams emerged from the other closet, held Anderson at gunpoint, and began striking him. After several minutes, Lopez, still within his vehicle, became cornered from his...
All right. So let's catch up. Let's catch up. What's happening, Christy? Let's catch up. All right. So, property stolen from Terrion Arnold's Airbnb. $250,000 worth of merchandise. Okay. Jewelry, accessories, what have you. A lot of people there partying, kicking back. They narrowed it down to two guys, this Lopez guy and this Tedesca guy. Terrion Arnold and Hilton come up with the plan. They get Ariana and Jasmine to hit these two dudes up and say, come through late night, midnight. You can come clap these cheeks. So they get the dudes to come. Meanwhile, Mr. Williams and Mr. Hudson are waiting in the closet. One has an AR-15 rifle. The other one has a semi-automatic handgun. Once they get the guys there, Ariana opens the door. Jasmine is nowhere to be found. She was the one who was supposed to get her cheeks clapped. The guys come in, look for her, open the closet. They start getting pistol whipped and beat up by Mr. Williams and Mr. Hudson. Apparently, this whole plan was conducted electronically with Terrion Arnold, Mr. Hilton, and these girls. Okay? So it's documented electronically. Text messages, tablet, whatever. They got it. The feds got it. Why would I take that to an Airbnb? Ocho said it best. He travels with costume jewelry. Yeah. Yeah. $250,000 worth.
Associates and went up to the apartment. Upon arriving at the apartment's open front door, Lopez could hear a commotion and loud yelling from a male coming from within the apartment and entered. Lopez entered the bedroom, was immediately pistol whipped by Williams. Delval sat on the bed in the same bedroom and utilized her phone to stream the confrontation. I'm guessing FaceTime, like I said in the last video.
Okay, so this is the kicker here. Not only did they coordinate the plan, not only did they execute the plan when the guys got there, but then Ariana gets on FaceTime, sits on the bed, and films it or shows it as it's happening. She FaceTimed the event as it was happening. And who was she FaceTiming? Terrion Arnold. Showing him what was going on as it was happening. These are some very intelligent young folks, I'd say.
Which was viewed by Arnold, Hilton, and Hughes as they were still en route from Tallahassee. Simultaneously, a group chat created was joined by Hilton, who was seated directly next to Arnold within their vehicle. This chat group was also joined by Delval, Hudson, Williams, and Randazzo. Arnold and
So not only did they FaceTime these two individuals getting beat up and pistol whipped, then they made a group chat. Every one of these defendants, co-defendants, made a group chat. Arnold, this other guy they keep talking about, two other guys in the car with him. They're driving to the location where the two guys have been set up. They're driving there, but they're watching it on FaceTime, and then now they made a group chat so they can all talk about what's happening. All of their phones, all of their numbers, all the messages, all in one text thread. Oh my goodness. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Wow. I don't mean to make light of it because I know it had to be terrifying for these guys that went through this ordeal. Like I said at the beginning, they picked these two guys because they thought they were the ones who stole the merchandise, but it turns out they weren't even the guys who did it. They weren't even the guys who did it. So this is crazy. This is a crazy story, man. When an NFL team releases you, excuse me, off of allegations, when an NFL team releases you the next day, you know that they know you're screwed. All this is public record. This is not secret information. This is public record about this case. This looks really bad for Terrion Arnold. And like I said, these ladies, Jasmine Randazzo and Ariana Delval, they've already decided to cooperate. They've already decided to cooperate. They're already talking. They've already talked. And they said, we want the best deal. We're going to testify. So it's not looking good for Terrion Arnold, man. Let's keep watching, though.
Hilton gave direction to DeVal, Williams, and Hudson as the assaults against Daniel and Anderson continued. So this is damning evidence. They have a group chat of everyone's phone numbers are going to be identified, sending evidence to kidnap someone and beat them up, sending instructions. It's not looking good, boys. Williams and Hudson continue to repeatedly batter and question the three victims about allegedly stolen property for approximately 1 hour.
Woo! So you're talking about torturing two individuals for an hour, beating them up, pistol whipping them, interrogating them for something that it turns out that they didn't even do. And then you got these two guys, shot callers, telling them what to do to them as they're watching it on FaceTime as they're driving to the location and texting about it in the group chat. All right.
Crazy, an hour. At approximately 1 a.m., Arnold, Hilton, Hughes, and Ridgway arrived at the apartment. Arnold instructed Hilton, Hughes, and Ridgway to go up to the apartment. Within the apartment, Hughes joined Williams and Hudson within the bedroom where the three victims were being held. Hudson and Williams and Hughes continued to batter the victims with their fists and placed a firearm in Lopez's mouth, putting all three victims in fear of their death while forcibly holding them within the bedroom against their will.
Okay. So here we go. I think this is where Terrion Arnold thought he was smart, okay? He goes to the location. He sends the other two guys, Ridgeway and Hilton, up the stairs to go in there, touch them up, threaten their life, put a gun in their mouth, but he stays in the car. He doesn't go in the apartment. I guess he figured they can't link this to me because I never went inside the apartment. But you sent them up there. And you're in the group chat. And you're on FaceTime. And you're parked out in front of the apartment building. Come on, man. Use your brain. Use your brain. This is so ridiculous. Oh, my goodness. And you talking about a guy that had everything to lose. And don't get me wrong. If $250,000 worth of jewelry got stolen, Christie said it best, right? Ocho Cinco talked about, man, it's not even worth it to be out here looking flashy with all this expensive jewelry on. Everything you see me wear when I go out, it's fake. It's not real. But you got hundreds of millions. You got millions of dollars, brother. You got millions of dollars. Why would you throw it all away? Trying to play gangster. Why would you throw it all away?
To facilitate the commission of a felony. While inside the bedroom, Hudson, Williams, and Hughes all stole their wallets, phones, jackets, cash, and jewelry belonging to the victims, which was committed to permanently deprive them of their property.
All right. So we lured them with the hopes that they was going to clap cheeks, right? When they got there, we surprise, two guys pop out, pistol whip him, beat him for an hour. Then two more guys show up, beat them again, put a gun in their mouth. Then you know what? After all that, give me your wallets, give me your jewelry, give me anything worth of value. It's not just enough to humiliate you and beat you up. Now we're going to rob you. All right. And we've held you now against your will for a couple hours.
At 1:40, now finally, after everything was stolen, apparently, they escorted them out. Daniel was escorted out by Hughes with a semi-automatic firearm. Lopez and Anderson was forced from the bedroom to the living room. Anderson observed Hilton wearing a yellow pair of pajama pants. So I'm guessing they have a picture of him in this pajamas or something too, to like directly identify him with these pajama pants and what his victim saw, apparently. I mean, all these victims are clearly going to testify if this goes to trial. Anderson was escorted out of the apartment by armed Hudson. All three victims were forced into their vehicle and they subsequently fled. Around the time, Delval, Williams, and Ridgeway entered the vehicle driven by Arnold and left the scene. Following the victim's report of the offense to the police, a court-authorized search warrant was served on the apartment. Both the girls...
All right. This is crazy, man. So they did all that to these guys. Beat them, pistol whipped them, punched them, threatened their lives, put guns in their mouth, robbed them, humiliated them. And then they just said, all right, man, we done with y'all. And what did they think was going to happen? What did they think was going to happen? Did they think they were going to be too scared to tell the police? What did they think was going to happen? So immediately, the guys called the police, told them what happened, where they went. Police show up with the search warrant at the residence where these girls lived. Boom. Let's keep going.
were arrested. Delval, she admitted to her involvement.
Soon as they got there, talked to the girl, she confessed. she confessed immediately, right? She confessed, and then I believe it's going to say after, Randazzo, Jasmine, was later contacted, and she confessed as well to being, to what part that she played in this whole incident. This is just horrible. This is horrible.
Randazzo was later contacted, admitted her involvement post-Miranda, and was also arrested. So both girls admitted their involvement. Tampa police detectives generated 3 separate photo pack lineups for Hudson, Williams, and Hughes. These photo packs were shown to Lopez. Lopez identified all 3 of them. A lineup containing Hilton was shown. This was presented as Anderson. Anderson identified Hilton as the guy wearing the yellow pajamas. I mean, they admitted their involvement, but here we go with, snitching on other co-defendants.
If you've been thinking about getting
Okay, so here's the
this
deal.
is your last chance to save 45%. At the tap of a button, it records and creates.
Val gave sworn testimony which was consistent with her previous post-Miranda statements to the law enforcement. Additionally, her testimony confirmed, 1, she was with Arnold when he devised the original plan to lure Lopez and Daniel to the apartment.
Okay, so here's the deal. This is the kicker, and this is where Terrion Arnold, I'm sorry, but it looks like it's a wrap for you. The victims could not identify him because he did not go into the apartment. However, the victims identified her, and she said, you know what? I want the deal. Let me tell you everything from the beginning. The beginning, I was with him when he said, I need you to call and invite him over to clap those cheeks. And don't worry about it. We'll take care of the rest. She said, I was there from the beginning when he made up the whole plan. Chrissy said she didn't bother with negotiating for less time because they're absolutely going to go to jail. But, the first ones, early bird get the worm in case like this. Both girls admitted their involvement, and I believe they will get the least amount of time. But they definitely gonna get time. They not getting off scot-free for this. That's crazy. They kidnapped 3 people for 2 hours, about 2 hours, it seems like. Hour and 40 minutes. Showed up at 12. Said they let him go at 1:40. That's crazy. I know them dudes had to think like it's a wrap for us, man. An AR-15, a semi-automatic hand rifle or handgun, and then the dude comes in and put the gun in your mouth. They thought it was a wrap. They probably saying their prayers. Like, Lord, forgive me. Look, I'm about to enter into your kingdom. They thought it was going to be lights out. Gosh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Man. All right, let's keep watching. It's almost done.
2, that Arnold instructed her to contact Randazzo electronically so Randazzo could contact Daniel to lure him to their apartment. 3.
Okay, so 1, I was there when he made the whole plan. She talked about Terrion Arnold. Then Arnold told me to contact my homegirl to tell him to come over and clap cheeks. That was the plan.
After the offense occurred in the apartment, she entered a vehicle being driven by Arnold to leave the scene. And 4,
So then, after we let the dudes go, I hop in the whip with Arnold afterwards because he said this event was traumatizing. He probably acknowledged it got out of hand. It got a little bit out of hand.
Arnold advised he had to take her from the scene so that she could not get traumatized by the event. So this girl was arrested 2 weeks ago, and she's already given a sworn statement. She could not last in jail. That's what.
So this happened in February. So it took about about 3.5 months. Took about 3.5 months. Okay, for all these things to come into place.
What happens? Way to cookie crumbles. Now, on March 20th, 2026, Randazzo gave sworn testimony. So now the second girl seems to be snitching, consistent with her previous post-Miranda statements to law enforcement.
Oh, no,
Additionally,
she
her
gave
testimony confirmed,
testimony
one,
on
Arnold was within the vehicle
March
with Hilton
20th.
during the FaceTime call. When
That was
Arnold gave
a
her
month and a
directions over
half.
the call as to what to say to Daniel to cause him to be lured to the apartment. 2, just after the offense in the apartment with the FaceTime call still ongoing, she could hear Delval enter the vehicle with Arnold, who stated to Delval that it was not safe for her to be there and she would be leaving with him. Delval and Randazzo each positively identified a photo of Terrion Arnold as the defendant.
Signed, sealed, and delivered right there. The 2 girls he initially used to set up the other dudes are now testifying against him. Ain't no loyalty amongst thieves.
State respectfully praised this honorable court to order pretrial detention on the defendant. Signed, Susan Lopez, the state attorney. I want to read a few comments from my last video about this topic because some people.
All right, so that is pretty much all the evidence and things that are on public record regarding this case with Terrion Arnold. All I gotta say is, man, one bad decision can affect your life. I tell my students this in school all the time. Like, the things you get away with when you're a kid, you know, making decisions and thinking that you're getting over, try to be sneaky, running with the wrong crowd, following after people. You got to be a leader. You can't be a follower in life. Because if you just become a follower, you might end up with the wrong crowd at the wrong time and end up doing time. Because all it takes is one really bad mistake and your life could change forever. You're talking about 8 people. They had 3 young men, 2 ladies on that photo lineup, but there were 3 more that were in the vehicle that weren't initially at that apartment. That's 8 people. A group of friends. All of them. They all going. No matter what their role is, they're all going. Be careful with the crowd you hang out with. This is a sad situation, man. That's all I got to say, but bad choices. Got to live with the consequences. It's very sad, though. It's very sad. I know had to be traumatizing for the 3 victims in this case. Living through that ordeal, having somebody beat on you and pistol whip you and put guns in your mouth for an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes. Man, probably just haven't been able to even sleep at night. I mean, I can't even imagine. Yeah, man. So I hope they get the necessary help they need, you know, therapy, whatever they need to help them get through that traumatic situation. And the ironic part is Terrion Arnold was saying the girl was going to be traumatized, and she's FaceTiming him, showing him the whole, but he's saying she going to be traumatized. What about the victims? She's not a victim. Yeah, man. That's wild. But the Falcons, you know, and I meant to make this parallel. Falcons know all too well about, you know, unfortunately, indictments. And I just go back to the Mike Vick real quick. You know, he was making he'll be the first to tell you. He said it on record. He was making some bad decisions. He was out of control. He thought he was untouchable. Living his life, has so much money, just living reckless. And he was reckless. He was reckless. And He was trying to be loyal to those from the hood, loyal to the family, and it ended up costing him his freedom. Cost him a lot of money too. Cost him a lot of prestige. Had to rebuild his image. Took years, probably over a decade for Mike Vick to rebuild his image in the public eye anyway. That was heartbreaking for me as a fan. I had just become a Falcons fan a couple years prior to that. And once I saw the Falcons released him, I was just like, dang, bro. Dang, bro. And they said the FBI got involved, and I was like, dang, bro, yeah, it's a wrap. So all I got to say is, history repeats itself if you don't learn about your history. Young men and young women out there, please be mindful of who your friends are. Ain't nothing cool. There's nothing cool about trying to live that gangster lifestyle, man. This guy, he ain't no reason to try to pull a John Gotti, Scarface type of move like that to torture these guys. I don't know, him and his personal life and how he get down, but he had way too much to lose in this situation. Sometimes you just gotta, like they say in the street. I ain't from the streets, but I grew up in the hood. Sometimes you just gotta chalk it up to the game, man. Somebody hit you for $250. Hey, I was slipping. I gotta chalk it up to the game. I was slipping. I got a little loose. I got a little careless, and somebody got me. Chalk it up to the game. Don't come out here and make an emotional decision and make things worse. Chalk it up to the game. Learn my lesson. Get a safe, or stop wearing expensive jewelry. Stop throwing parties, inviting people that you don't know. Keep your circle tight. Those are the lessons you're supposed to learn from a situation like that. And then to even get the wrong people on top of that, you got hit. And then you blamed it on somebody that didn't even do the crime. That's the worst part about it. Like, I can almost justify, like, okay, these are the guys that did it. Okay, we had to make them pay, but you didn't even get the guys who did it. You made somebody pay who was totally innocent. No, I think it was his second year. Terrion Arnold. I think it was his second year. Let me Google that though. I don't believe that was his rookie year last year. Yeah, he was a 2024 first round pick. So it was his second year last year. That's just dumb. I can't call it. Man, that's crazy. But I was really kind of intrigued by this case, hearing so many things. And then after hearing the release, I'm like, dang, there got to be more to this case than what's out there. And then I came across that video, and I thought that clearly explained the circumstances and the mountain of evidence against him. It's a mountain of evidence. I mean, I don't even think Johnny Cochran could get you out of that one, bro. Like, you got your co-defendants already rolling over on you. They got your text messages, FaceTime transmission. I mean, yeah, Christy, but you know what? That's not even an excuse. I can't even chalk that up as an excuse. They do a rookie symposium every year. I know for a fact they do that for all the rookies. They show you how to manage. Well, they got classes on how to manage your money. They got a workshop on life skills for these rookies that are coming into the NFL. They give these guys a blueprint to be successful. They give these guys a blueprint. So some of them are, they head like a brick. Hard-headed, head like a brick. Oh, man. So some people learn the easy way, just through word of mouth and information. Some people got to experience it for themselves and learn the hard way. That's really what it boils down to. But all your decisions, all your actions have consequences. All right. It's unfortunate for the young man because I believe, he was going to have a pretty solid career as a pro. Good player coming out of University of Alabama. But may his life be a lesson to those, around him and those coming up behind him. Stay away from that gangster life, man. Stay away from it. Especially when you got too much to lose. You got way too much to lose, man. Stay away from it. Keep your head right. Surround yourself with people that are going to encourage you to do the right thing. People that are going to talk you out of making dumb decisions too. Like, you don't want yes men around you. People that just want to, do what you. Even if it was his idea, he should have had a homie that was like, bro, no, no, we are not doing this, man. You in the league? No, you are not doing this. Somebody should have talked him out of making this horrible decision. When they made the plan, they should have been like, nah, bro, you crazy. You wilding right now, man. Just chalk it up to the game. You tripping, man. Go to bed. Go to sleep. Something, man. Somebody should have told him. But what's done is done now. We'll see how this plays out in court. Man, I've been on here about an hour. I thought it was going to be about 20 minutes. But so that's the story of Terrion Arnold. Got a lot of NBA free agency news. We'll see if we get any more news before tomorrow. There's everybody's watching to see what LeBron James is going to do. They're saying it's a 46% chance that he comes to the Golden State Warriors now, which is kind of crazy to me, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, all right? Happy Wednesday. Thank you, Christy, for being here. Appreciate you. Keep all those folks in prayer that are associated with this this case. Victims first, absolutely. What they endured, what they went through, the experiences that they have to live with, those memories, that trauma. And then keep those young folks that, made this horrible decision. Keep them in prayer too. And their families. Their families are probably like, what? You did what? What? You did what? So, it affects it ain't just about them. Everything that they do affects somebody that knows them or loves them. And it's just a hurtful situation. So, it's your boy, let us pray. I hope you're having a blessed and a prosperous day. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Take care and be blessed. See you tomorrow. I'll probably hit y'all up when I'm driving. I'm going to be heading out of town, but I'll probably do the stream when I'm driving. So just gonna take off probably around this time tomorrow. Probably taking off. So be a good way for me to get through the traffic and make that drive a little easier. Just hopping on stream, having a conversation with y'all as I'm driving. Hands free. Okay, got the mount. I'm not gonna be holding the phone. Hands free. All right. Bless y'all. Have a blessed and a prosperous day. Peace. And I'm out. They left all that